Okay, let's see what this guy's done recently because I am semi-clueless. All right, so we beat Moicano, Poirier, a couple of Darce chokes, pretty sick. And then yeah, he knocked out Volk. Yeah, they had the two Volk fights. All right, cool. I know a lot about Islam, obviously. I don't know near as much about Mr. JDM. Jack Della Maddalena, 18-2. That's pretty serious record. A whole lot of knockouts. I hear he's like the captain anti-wrestler, so that's pretty rad. Okay, so he beat Bilal Muhammad. He beat Gilbert Burns. Decision with Kevin Holland. That's a little bit weird. Knockout Gilbert Burns, but you decision Kevin Holland. I don't know. Maybe I'm weird, but I think that's strange. Randy Brown gets a rear naked. Oh, we got a liver shot. That's dope. Counter left hand. That's pretty specific. When did he lose last? Yo, this guy lost his first two pro fights ever. One by punches. He got stopped via punches, and then the second one by rear naked choke. So he loses his first two fights and then just goes on a climb. That's savage, bro. Most people would stop right here. Most people will, if this happens to them, they lose the first fight, they lose the second fight, and then they will just stop. But not this dude. He went on to KO this guy, KO this guy, TKO this guy. Yo, all of these are stoppages. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in a row, all finishes. And then 7 stops with a cut. 8, 9. Yo, he went 9 straight, all in round 1 or 2, except for one. There was a oh no, this was him losing. Okay, so they all went in round 1 or 2. 9 fights straight. Yo, that's nasty. I wonder if we could find these. It's like I want to see him versus this Darcy Vendy guy and this Alden Bates guy. We probably can't find those. They're definitely not on Fight Pass. That would be very interesting to see because the comeback story is legit. I swear this is like one of the easiest defenses is to just step back into Southie. Just steps back, gives him the right hook. And then Bilal comes in on a takedown. Already you can see JDM's got that underhook ready. He's created a pocket back here from backstepping or back shifting, and then he's going to grab this arm and lift it up, probably at the elbow. It looks like he's a little bit inside with his front arm as well. Oh, and Bilal goes to both knees, gangster. Yeah, but see, JDM's got that underhook here, right? So Bilal cannot put the head close enough to this hip. Like Bilal wants his head to be like right here, right? But because he had that underhook on the neck, he's able to disconnect. He's disconnected that back leg, and now Bilal is failing miserably. Look at this shape, right? Look at the shape of the spine. It's straight, but it's, well, straight as in it's a straight line, but it's tilted. It's on a diagonal. So it's going to be really hard for him to be powerful here. And he elects to come up to the body lock. I'm very interested to see how JDM's body lock defense is. But as you can see, he's got his hands on the inside already, right? His legs are kind of split apart, but it's going to be really hard for Bilal to throw with overhooks, especially overhooks like this. He's like going for a body lock, and Jack's just got both of his arms on the inside. Super annoying, and disconnects quite easily. Now that's going to change a little bit with Islam, because Islam can chuck you with overhooks. He doesn't need underhooks necessarily. I don't think Bilal has that kind of upper body game, especially the way he shoots. It definitely looks like he's more freestyle trained, but super easy for JDM to defend that. It was a pretty decent shot too. This is a problem, right? You don't want to put your head here too often. If Bilal could catch on to that, man, knees to the face are going to be a problem. You can see, like, if you saw the last time that Bilal shot, it was when Jack's back was to the fence, right? We talk about this a lot in the anti-wrestling course.
Maybe he actually got in the cage and won a couple fights, but eventually... some sweaty dude from the mountains, he's holding you down and punching you in the face, and you can't do anything about it.
You absolutely suck. Defend the takedown. Your mama's watching this.
And then even if you do survive, he's just gonna do it again and again and again. That you need to get back to your feet, defend the takedown, pressure them with strikes, wham, long range, and then land that perfect KO shot. Or throw their ass off the wall. And then, if they still won't leave you alone, make sure they never come back. This is everything that you need to beat the wrestler. They want to hold you on the cage. They want to hold you on the floor, drip sweat in your mouth and your eyeballs, and slide their way to some choke late in the fight. You don't want to fight like that. Rip their knee apart, grab their neck, and strangle it. Make sure you stay safe. Make sure your contract stays safe. Make sure you get into the show. If you can't beat a wrestler, do you really think you're going to make UFC? You need this course. Make sure you get it.
If you can press the wrestlers back to the fence, it's so much harder for them to take you down because you got so much room to defend. But if they get you close to the wall, now it's almost guaranteed that they're able to get a grip. Using a lot of front kick, a lot of teep up the middle from that open stance, using the back leg, right? A lot of linear strikes, right? These are the harder things for wrestlers to shoot under. I think it's almost like you bought the anti-wrestler guide. No, at the higher levels, a lot of these guys have these kind of tactics. I studied a lot of people in order to figure it out, as well as obviously my own experimentation. Now there's stab kicks. So you're seeing like JDM's not throwing a lot of low kicks, right? He's not throwing a lot of round body kicks. It's a lot of like front kick and head kick, which is kind of your MO, your go-to weapons when you're fighting some dude that wants to grapple you. They're harder weapons to shoot on. That was a nice little uppercut. Here's another thing we talk about in the anti-wrestler course. Okay, here's what happens when you hit the body on a wrestler, right? Look what he's got to do to hit the body. He's got to bring his head down and bangs that left hand into the body. And now, look, immediately he's so low that Bilal's not able to just shoot under that, right? You're already under the other person. So if they're trying to shoot and time your punch and shoot under it, like you're too low. And then Jack's just using his head here to defend. This is great. But Bilal can't body lock you and throw you, right? So that's something that's a little different about the Islam fight. Islam is a different style wrestler than Bilal, that's for sure. Okay, so watch JDM's use of this front arm. I'm telling you guys, like when we're doing this stuff in MMA class, like this is the shit that works. We do this in class. Boom, look at that frame. Right? Bilal is once again not able to take his head and connect it to the body, right? He cannot connect to the hip. The elbow frame, right? The forearm frame is in the way. And because of that, there's too much space. His arms and hands aren't powerful way out from his body like that. It's just not strong, right? And then JDM just increases the space. Bilal drops down to his knee, but he's not closing that gap. Here we go. Now he's a little bit tighter, but it doesn't look like his head's in the best position. It's definitely not where he wants it. I like the reverse cage sprawl here. How Bilal's like hiding, not Bilal, Jack's like hiding that back leg, right? He's like split stance, right leg in front of the left. Makes it really hard to double. Like if anything, he's going to get a single. And now he's lifting the head up. Again, keep the head away from your body. They cannot take you down. So he really extends on this one. And then Bilal dips under, beats that hand, tries to get it back to use the forearm, but it's too late. He's got your hips. Turns the corner. Maddalena, however you say his name. Yeah, he's got nothing to sprawl onto either, right? Because Bilal's just cutting that corner. Yeah, he's trying to step over here. Be better off trying to do a cartwheel, like if you could like cartwheel that way. But he knocked him off balance here. I think the biggest problem is this leg is hooked. Right, so if he could have kept this leg out, he would have likely gone over him this way. But that leg is just keeping him stuck underneath. Now Bilal's on top. So let's see what his get up game is like. He's just pulling in, just pulling in. Ryan, you were at MMA today. We talked about that, right? Just like stopping the guy from being able to ground and pound you by tying him up and keeping him close. Ooh, hey, nice, nice. And he just uses it to get up. Normally, so if this is me and I'm able to get an angle like that, see this angle here? Look at that leg. That leg is just asking to be connected to. Now, JDM elects to like almost sit up on a double, which isn't a terrible idea. But if Bilal had great jiu-jitsu, right, like he could come right up and over this shoulder and attack the back. I'm glad we got to see him on the bottom because that wasn't very impressive. Honestly, I'm not super impressed with JDM's bottom game. I think his wrestling, his takedown defense, right? His takedown defense, I think is all right. All right. It's very good. His takedown defense is very good. But oh, we're in a body lock now. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, but I don't think his game of like what to do once it hits the ground, I don't think is ideal. Okay, so look at this body lock positioning. If you do this, look at Bilal's hands, and they're super slippery now, so it's going to be harder in the 5th round. But if you look at the shape that Jack is making here, this is a super weak shape. Look at that. Look, his hips are way leaned back. His feet are close together. Like Islam is going to throw you, bro. This could be a problem. This whole shape here, this bend, we don't want to see that in the clinch. That's not where you want to do that move, right? And maybe he's probably trying to push away and get his hips back, but you're not going to want to do that with Islam, bro. Islam will huck you. And then he tries to run some trash knee tap. And obviously, right, he doesn't have great body positioning. And he's really committed on it. Right, really committed. Look at this. He's like the Leaning Tower of Pisa, right? So basic rule of how not to get thrown, keep your head over your feet. Pretty simple, right? It's not easy, and you're obviously going to have to commit when you are attempting a takedown, but this was not the place to attempt this takedown when you had zero off balance, right? Zero Kazushi. Is going to be really difficult to get a takedown like that. And you see, as he's disconnecting to the leg, as soon as Bilal gets his legs back on the ground, in a strong manner, right? Like you're getting hucked. Look at this. Look at that. That's like that. Like what's under his head? Bilal's feet. That's a problem, right? Your feet are supposed to be under you, but Bilal's feet are under you. Bye-bye. See you next time. Watch this entrance, right? Where does it happen? When Poirier's back is on the fence. Islam wants to put you on the wall, and then he wants to get a grip. That's what he wants to do. And it's pretty hard to stop him, although it's not impossible. Shooting from pretty far out. Head to the outside. Head is in tight. Dustin has an underhook on inside the far arm, but he got beat on the close side. Looks like Islam's got elbow deep grip here. Yeah, so Dustin's lifting the single underhook here, dealing with that far arm, but the close arm is pretty elevated. Looks like he's going to change to the head inside single. Yeah, he does. Connects his feet, steps inside, and here's where these guys really shine. Oh, I love that takedown. Oh, man. I started using this, and it's just money, I'm telling you. Right? So they're able to use judo, but with freestyle grips, right? So he's hitting, he steps deep, right? Because he doesn't have to lift the leg. Dustin's already sprawling heavy. He splits them, right? Steps deep and then elevates. And then as he's setting Dustin down, he's going to use the inside of his foot to trip Dustin's leg that's trying to find the floor. Ko Uchigari. It's nasty. Perfect timing. And down goes Dustin. This is super annoying. He did this to me a few times, and it's really annoying. He like pins your arm way out from your body, so it's really hard for you to use powerful muscles in order to like actually get your arm close to your body again. And he uses that to set up his submission attacks, right? He isolates your arm, puts it out in space, keeps it there, and then he goes and attaches to it. Ooh, yeah. Okay, we'll run that back. So pushing him down to the ankle, and then he's gonna like grab it and draw you with it. I just showed this takedown 10 years ago, 15 years ago. It actually works. It's so nasty. Oh, this is that short arm Darce, I think, that he does. Because his arms aren't super long. So look at that grip that he's using. His arms are so short that he's like grabbing his wrist. Like I would be, if the only people that I could choke like that would be like 240-pound, 5'8" people. Let's watch one more from Mr. JDM. So this is kind of something that that Islam would do, right? Is once he picks that single up, he's going to use his leg. So you can see that Burns's right leg here is right in the middle. He's going to take it, he's going to put it behind JDM's leg. And boom, Uchigari. This is freestyle wrestling plus judo. This is a position we were having troubles escaping for a while, this Dagestani handcuffs. But watch what happens when Burns drives him forward to pull his arm down. He just continues the momentum. He starts rolling onto his shoulder almost like a Granby and elevating his hips, using that fence to get all the way out. And boom, back in with the knee to the face. Okay, and dead. So what did we learn? We learned that JDM is far superior on the feet. That is very apparent. We learned that Islam is a threat on the ground to JDM because JDM has some decent get-ups, but it seems like they're not the most sophisticated. And Islam's grappling, I think, is probably the best he's ever faced. Definitely better than they're just getting tired. Islam's grappling is definitely better than Bilal's. And it's probably a little bit better than Gilbert Burns's. But both of those guys have quite a bit of weight on Islam. So Islam is likely going to be the smaller guy here. The big what if for me, the big what if is, what if JDM cannot deal with the takedown attack of Islam because of Islam's specific use of his hands and his feet, right? Because Gilbert Burns was also able to dump JDM a few times by using his arms on freestyle grips and then using his legs with judo grips. Right, the combination of that is like Makhachev's specialty, and it seems like JDM is vulnerable. Now, if Islam gets him down, can he finish him? I think he's probably got better subs than Bilal. I don't know if he has better subs than Burns, but honestly, he probably does. So, if I was to predict this fight, something inside my head is just telling me JDM by decision. That's not what I want to say, but something is just telling me JDM by decision. Usually when that voice happens, I'll like try to second guess myself and like rationalize it. And then the first voice is right voice. In the end, like I'll watch the fight. I don't bet on it, but I'll watch the fight and then I was right all along, right? Until I talk myself out of it. So I'm going to have to say JDM by decision. I think that Islam will likely get him down a few times. Will he be able to stabilize him? Probably for a bit. Will he be able to tap him? I think he probably will not. He would have to soften him up a lot with punches, I think, and that is really not Islam's specialty. It's more of Khabib's specialty. So because of the weight advantage, size advantage for JDM, and then the big deficit that I see Islam having on the feet, and also JDM's ability to defend takedowns on the legs quite well, I would have to give it to Jack. Now, Islam will probably not just get knocked out in the first round. He probably will be able to get JDM down a few times. I don't think he'll finish him. And then That will become a little bit harder as the fight goes on, because it's just as the longer the fight goes on, the harder it is to get takedowns because the grip just breaks down. It's just way harder. You're more gassed. It costs a lot of energy, right, to take this bigger guy down all the time, over and over and over again, especially a guy like this who seems like he's pretty good at popping up. So that's how I see it going. JDM by decision. You heard it here first at KJ MMA. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. I will talk to you soon and see you in Fighters Heaven. Peace.